What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. Today, we're talking some college football betting. It's the Wednesday, Week 7 slate, another Conference USA matchup between New Mexico State and Jacksonville State. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. We're also brought to you by Bet365. There's a deal for those of you in Kentucky, Ohio, New Jersey, Virginia, Iowa, Colorado, Louisiana, Indiana, Arizona, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. You'll click the link below, make your first deposit on Bet365, make a $5 wager on any game, could be a side or a total. Whether it wins or loses, you get $200 of additional bonus bets. You must be 21 or older to play, 18 in Kentucky. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. To the college football live odds screen, let's see where we are sitting with Jacksonville State, New Mexico State. Not much consensus in the market right now. I'm seeing I guess the consensus would be 20.5. I'm seeing some 21s. And then there is this rogue 20 that's juiced to minus 122 on DraftKings. Effectively, that's 20.5. The total in this game has been rising throughout the week. Saw this touch 59 points, as is the case in almost every single book right now. There's a couple 58.5 juice towards the over, which makes sense given the pace in this game. I'll set us on the spread instead of the total for the breakdown. As we saw last night with Liberty and FIU, these Conference USA games are dicey as you get into conference play because level of competition has been brutal for a lot of these teams. For reference, FIU Liberty's played absolutely nobody. Their schedule ranks like 148th in the country. For reference, there's only 134 teams, so there's about a dozen FCS teams that are playing more difficult levels of competition than Liberty. So as they enter these spots, it can lead to volatility. I was lucky to not play that game. It was FIU or pass for me initially. They took a ton of money. Then I was considering a Liberty side after it moved about 4 points and ended up holding off. Very happy I did. This game has some similarities. I don't think either team has really faced a very difficult level of competition. If you maybe pick one of them, it would be Jacksonville State. They did play Louisville and Coastal Carolina, who's been pretty solid this year. New Mexico State has played almost nobody. They had that shootout against New Mexico in their most recent game. Otherwise, it's just been Liberty themselves who appears to be worse than we thought, and Fresno State. They got decimated 48-0 in that game. But the big news here is New Mexico State did change their quarterback, which is really important because they were 132nd in total offensive efficiency out of 134 teams. So they bring in Santino Marucci, the Wake Forest transfer. I still have concerns considering he couldn't win the job in camp over Parker Awad, who was atrocious. But Marucci at least gave some life to the offense. His completion percentage was poor. It was 45%, but he did have some explosive plays, 189 yards in the pass game for him, which is just straight up better than what Awad had. So even if this does remain like a 45% completion percentage, Awad was at 35. So, how much worse could it possibly be? There's still a ton of concerns here. He has 0 big-time throws, 3 turnover-worthy plays. He does run a little bit. 74 yards on the ground is much better than Awad. The offensive line is pretty bad in pass blocking, 123rd. Surprisingly, they're 56th in run blocking. And, they have a pretty high-profile transfer in McGowan, so maybe they can find some success running the ball. I'm not really sure. They're projected to lose this game by quite a bit, so if forced to throw, that's still going to be a big concern. Not to mention, Donovan Foppel, Jordan Smith, Jerry Lydiat, and Hunter Talley are all injured from this pass game. That's 2 receivers and 2 tight ends. And one thing they had to do in their most recent game down 2 of their top 3 tight ends was use more 4 wide, which with a questionable quarterback is not something that really this offense wants to be doing, I think. But you look on the other side, Jacksonville State, 106th in total defense, 93rd against the run, 124th in pass rush, 94th in coverage. This team has been gashed repeatedly. They were gashed by Ethan Vasco, Tyler Shugg. Of course, he's a Louisville quarterback. That'll happen. But Cole Snyder got them from Eastern Michigan. They've only had success against Southern Miss, who was playing a backup in that game, and Kennesaw State, who's making the jump from FCS. And we saw them play on a weekday last night. Their offense is not pretty. Could this new quarterback in New Mexico State move the ball? I think there's the potential for it. Jacksonville State is 89th in offensive efficiency, 119th in pass blocking, 88th in run blocking. Their center got hurt in the last game, Brock Roby. I don't think he's going to play. It looked pretty bad. But this is a team predicated on the run. We know what a Rich Rod offense is going to do, spread you out, play extremely fast, and then run the ball down your throat. Unfortunately, they have a quarterback who's very good at that in Tyler Huff. He struggles when forced to play with a deficit. That's evidenced by his one big-time throw and 7 turnover-worthy plays. That was a huge problem against Coastal Carolina. Honestly, Logan Smothers had something to do with that too. But it's not really that likely they play with a deficit here. New Mexico State 96th in total defense, 98th against the run, 122nd in pass rush, and 60th in coverage. They just match up so poorly against this Jacksonville State team. I'm not sure how they have any success. The only time they really had any success was against Hunter Watson of Sam Houston State, and that didn't even matter because they just ran the ball down their throat. The over is the most interesting play to me, I think. I would consider New Mexico State at 21, which is out there. I would like something more. I don't know. It's probably going to be a pass on New Mexico just because this team is so bad on defense. I don't think they're good. They're well coached. But you could talk me into an over. New Mexico State is 49th in pace. Jacksonville State is 10th. So that lines up. Both these teams will pass. The offense kind of exploits the weakness of the opposing defense on both sides. I know it's tough to say that with New Mexico in general, but it's true. And we need something like a 40-19 score to cash this. Can New Mexico State get to 19 points? Because I think Jacksonville State certainly can do their part in getting to 40. We've seen them do that multiple times. New Mexico State did get to 40 against New Mexico. That defense is horrible, though. They're 133rd in the country. It's probably going to be a full stay away for me unless we see some movement. The time to take the over was early in the week. It's just been pounded in the market. So that is something that has passed me by. But those are the leans. It would be over or New Mexico State. Like last night, probably one I will stay away from in this greasy Conference USA matchup. Next up tomorrow and Friday, we have 3 games apiece. We'll break those down here on this channel. If you want the Saturday games, those are already available on Betting You. Myself and Ben Raza took care of those. If you're interested, check it out. Otherwise, you can always request games in the comments or reach out to me on Twitter. We have a second episode that will be recorded on Thursday morning. Until then, in the next video, good luck, everyone. We'll see you later.